Back in 2023, I decided to rent a van and trek around southern Utah with my son for spring break. Then I convinced his mom that I had to take his twin sister to the Mighty Five in 2024. It's only fair, right? I maybe did too good of a job filming our kids running around Utah on those prior trips because Courtney decided the adults needed to do their own trip too. And this is that trip. We decided to fly direct to Salt Lake City out of New Orleans, a few adult beverages in first class, and off to Utah we flew. After flying to Las Vegas the prior two trips, Salt Lake City was way more relaxing. Walkable restaurants,
It's raining, snowing, sleeting. Snowing on my eyelash.
The city is awesome. We stayed at the Peery Downtown, centrally located with great restaurants all around. Our van pickup was pretty simple, and we headed to Spanish Fork to pick up our provisions for the trip, of course, at Walmart.
Okay, so this got serious. Stopped at the Spanish Fork Walmart, and Courtney is nowhere to be found. And she doesn't have her phone, so I'm going to have her paged. This place is enormous.
Attention customers, can Courtney come back to the electronics counter? Courtney is back to the electronics counter. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. I had to page you
Why'd you have to page me?
because I couldn't find you.
Well, I was in the medicine area.
I did 2 laps around here. I'm tired.
My wife made me stop at a pop culture soda shop named Swig, and over the mountain we went, off to Moab. We decided to grab a quick bite at the Moab food trucks. Always a great stop.
If I had a food truck, it would be this, but it would be tacos.
So what would be taco gelato?
No, it would be pink tacos. Ooh, maybe not.
Our first campsite of the trip was at Arches National Park. The best thing about it is you have to drive all the way to the back of the park to get to Devil's Garden Campground.
We have site number 20, which is Simulation World, because we are on our 20th anniversary trip because it's spring break and that's when we had to take this trip. So, you ready to see the back of our campsite? Let's go.
I outkicked my coverage on this site. You know that, right?
You outkick your coverage on a lot of things.
I outkicked my coverage on my marriage and this site for you.
That thing right there, that slanted thing, Corey told me is people drive up there and those people are crazy.
Crazy. So there's Jeep trails that go all the way up and you can get up in there and everything. It's crazy. We're doing that tomorrow. We're doing some cool trails. We're also doing the sand flats. And Dad's finally going to get a badge from Jeep for fins and things. Courtney doesn't really know much about fins and things.
It sounds like something you would have in Florida. Like people would say, are there sharks there in the water? Yes, in the water in Florida, there's sharks.
Yeah, there's dangerous trails here. So we picked a good one, but we're going to get into Arches National Park right now. We're going to go out and do some things now.
Many will tell you these campsites are impossible to get. You just have to be really aggressive. but you can do it.
All right, so here's a pro tip. If you want to come to Sand Dune Arch, you need to come at 7:30 because no one is here. We have it all to ourselves. That's as far as I'm going.
Sand Dune Arch is a really cool arch. It's easy to get to, tons of parking, normally loaded with kids and people. Being able to check this out by ourselves is rare. We got our Jeep for the day and headed up 128 to our first Jeep trail, Onion Creek. Just look for the Fisher Towers near the entrance to the trail and you're there. Onion Creek is a really beautiful trail, pretty much accessible by most vehicles. However, if it rains, you can see that some of the creek crossings could get a little deep.
so big. I feel so little.
We turned around at the top and headed back down. The views going up and down are pretty incredible. See? Even a minivan was doing the trail this day. Just watch the weather and know your limits.
Got done with Onion Creek Trail. Awesome, very scenic. But my question is, you learned a lot about a Jeep Rubicon. So tell me why this Jeep is really, really good for trails out here in Moab. And point out the features of the Jeep and tell us about them.
Okay, well, first of all, you want to take off the spare tires so you have plenty of clearance.
For what?
Junk in the trunk. You know, so you don't hit the butt, so you don't hit the back.
Okay.
All right. Also,
This damage, by the way, is not from us. It was the prior person.
yeah, it's got a lift kit.
Okay.
So some things in there make it jack up. And these nice big tires.
What kind of tires? People like talking about their tires. What kind are they?
Hilo.
Yeah, but
That's
who
the
makes
deal.
them?
Falcon.
Falcon. Good.
Falcon.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you know what size they were?
important- No, just I do know this.
Okay.
But usually your PSI should be around like 35-ish for regular driving. You want to make sure that you lower the tire pressure on your tires because what do they do, like 19?
Okay, good.
So less. So
Do you know what size the tires are? Inches. What do you think?
36.
Close. 37. Go ahead.
Seriously?
Yep.
I just measured it by my waist.
All right, cool.
Okay.
I can't. I'm not going to get in there.
That's 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
A parking brake, all that kind of stuff.
But what we used some features that made the ride more
Use
comfortable.
The sway bar, and that's what you use like at a concert, but also on a Jeep.
Okay.
And then we also had 4-wheel low. That's the one we did because
Yep.
you don't want to go too fast.
Yep.
And what else? There was something else you pressed a button on. Hold on.
We haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Talking about the lockers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I'm a little terrified about that.
Yeah. All right.
Also,
What part of the Jeep is this?
this is the hood,
Good. Okay, you knew that.
and it is not made out of steel. It's made out of aluminum.
Yep.
Probably Busch Light cans.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's the Jeep.
that's the Jeep.
We got it from Jenny's Jeep or Jen's Jeep. We highly recommend it. The dude is a legit person. He's very helpful.
Very helpful, and he is also willing to save marriages. So
Yep.
just know that for our experience later today.
Yep.
Horses!
Off to get our first Jeep badge of honor, we hope.
I forgot to take my Dramamine. I might need to take you when we get to a minute where I can go.
We're not even an inch into the trail. I gotta stop.
I need a Dramamine.
I'm glad we had a heavy lunch before we did this.
We did not have any lunch. I didn't want to barf.
There's a grandma in a walker that's about to pass us.
No, there's not. Pray to Jesus. Sweet Jesus, please. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. We are looking straight up at the sky.
Are there any alternative routes on this?
I don't think there's any alternative routes on this section.
I think you're wrong, actually. I think this is another way to go that you could go. Well, so I think this one just goes up.
That's the easier one. Let's do that.
I'm doing the easy one. I think he told us not to do that.
No, I don't think we should do that.
I think we skipped a couple that were optionals, but he definitely look at that. We'll let you on that.
So I wasn't really nervous about doing fins and things. It's a great entry-level trail. With the right Jeep like ours from Jen's Jeep, it was a piece of cake. You could get into a lot of trouble on this trail for sure, but slow and steady is a great rule of thumb. Also, if you have a group, that makes it way easier. Do your homework, have a blast. Oh, and don't forget to check into the Badge of Honor app after you complete the trail if you're going after those badges. We saw more cows on the road to Dead Horse Point this trip than we have ever seen. It would be scary at night. While Dead Horse Point is a relatively small state park, the views are not.
Corey,
Huh.
look, there's footprints right there on the other side.
Screw that.
Why would people do that?
What's better?
Look, there's one over there too, like even closer.
What is better right there than right here?
It's that thing right there. They act
What
like
is?
they're trying to Tom Cruise it.
People are weird, man.
We hit the point, and what started out as cloudy ended up being a beautiful sunset and clear, cold skies.
Corey, it's pretty windy outside.
Stop filming me.
It's windy. But
It's
you know what
very
else?
windy outside.
You know what's windy inside?
What?
The card score.
You're up 7-4. I just like won 4.
I know,
I'm
but
coming back. But
you were
wait,
5-0 last night.
Did you remember that? Look, this is the coolest lights in the van. Supermarket, strip club. Supermarket, strip club. Yeah, baby.
Stop. Now, can we go back to the supermarket because you need more beer?
I'm good.
Well, funny thing happened this morning. When it gets cold enough, it snows. And there's moisture in there, and this was expected. Beautiful sunset last night. Snowing in the morning. Welcome to Utah. So we're just gonna enjoy some coffee this morning, and honestly wait for it to get a little bit warmer and go down towards Moab, take a left. And we're headed to Capitol Reef, but first, lunch in Hanksville.
snowing.
A lot.
Uh-huh.
Morning coffee and snow on departure day is so cool. We said goodbye to Dead Horse Point and headed down towards Hanksville for lunch and on to Capitol Reef for the night. Catch our next episode from Capitol Reef, Highway 12, Escalante, and Bryce Canyon plus Zion in our next video. Like this video if you do, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have any Utah questions, leave them in the comments.